Alright, David from Dash Off-Road, and we're looking at the TiL Nissan Patrol 2020, and really the big question is a TiL worth it? So if you're in the market for a Y62 and you got two models available, that's it, a Ti and TiL, and you're probably looking on the Nissan website to see if it's worth it. So I think if you go on the Nissan website, it says something like 102 grand for a TiL, or 86 or something. Like, just between you and me, no one pays those prices. That's pretty much ludicrous, but that's what Nissan do. The difference really, if you go in and negotiate properly, should probably be, I don't know, 12-ish grand, give or take a little bit for where you are, to upgrade to the TiL. But the thing is, the Ti that is available now is actually pretty damn good. So what's the difference? Well, now you get the radar cruise control and lane departure and all that sort of thing built into the Ti. You didn't get that in the Series 1 to 4s, so that's an addition. But the sunroof has gone in a Ti with the Series 5, so it's a bit of give and take. Anyway, I'm going to take you through all the things which are different between Ti and TiL, and I'll let you know what I think of it.
Okay, no.
It is quite a warm day today, 28 degrees. I'm not going to put the heated seats on, but there is 3 levels for heated when you rotate the dial one way, and then cool on the other side. I've never had this before. Leather, I must admit, I don't know, I think it's just blowing air, but it's like, I don't know if it's cool air, but it's air. And it helps if I turn the driver's seat one on. I turn the passenger one on. Alright, let's check this out. It's doing something. Be interesting, like on a long trip, how that would just keep you a bit cooler on the leather. Yeah, it's kicked in now. I like it. So I'm cruising on the highway in my lounge chair on wheels with my air seats blowing air from the perforations in the leather, and I feel I might want a drink. Let's just open the center console and get out an icy cold can of your favorite beverage. The refrigerated cool box though isn't like an electric thing, so you can't leave it running when like you leave the car. It works on the air conditioning system. Like there's another whole circuit for just this cool box. You might think that, oh, that's going to take forever to cool it down. It's actually super quick. Like chuck a 6-pack in there, put it on cold, and 30 minutes they're icy. So yeah, that's cool. Box. So what's that, kids? You want to watch a DVD? Headrests at the back here have got DVD screens built into them. The one great thing is that you can control it from here. The one bad thing is you can control it from here. So whatever your DVD you put into the in the front here plays on both of them. Now my kids don't always want to watch the same thing, and that could cause arguments. There's infrared headphones. That's freaking awesome. So I don't have to hear whatever they're listening to. But I don't know if you can play the radio. Well, I don't think you can play the radio without listening to Frozen at the same time. So, you know, there is an argument to go and get some aftermarket independent headrests too. Alright, the stereos in Y62s, the old STL, TIs, to be honest, they're rubbish for what you pay for this car. TiL, you get a Bose 13 speaker sound system, so it's got a subwoofer in the back. If you're wondering where it is, it's on the rear quarter on the left hand side, because that's a big empty spot there. Downside is, if you wanted to put an aftermarket compressor in that space, you can't. You've got to put it somewhere else, because that's where the subwoofer is. But then you get a half decent stereo in the thing, which, like, in 2020, I can't believe you have to get to a TiL to get a decent stereo. Alright, Monday morning, we're driving to school, kids are in the back, kiss and drop. Of course you don't want their bags in the car because although there's heaps of room, that's all the stuff that scratches up the inside of the car. So you want to put your kid's school bag in the boot. Now, kids that are young kids, they can't reach the button to lift the boot, let alone if they want to get it down afterwards. So, TiL, there's a button by your right knee here. Just hold it down for a couple of seconds and you can see at the back it will lower or open the tailgate, so you don't have to get out the car and the bags stay out of the way. This next one happened all the time in my Series 1 STL. My wife would drive the car and her legs are a bit shorter than mine, so the seat is all the way forward and I can't even get in the freaking thing. Luckily the adjustment's on the side, but the beauty with the TiLs, there's a button on the door or there's different programmed key fobs. You can press setting 1 or setting 2 and the seat will go to my position, and then when she gets in the car she can press her button and it will go to her position. Or even if I unlock it with my key, it'll go to my position. By the way, I'm really liking these air seats more and more now. Alright, this next one is super cool. It is the mirror, the one up here. So, looks like a normal mirror, yeah? There's a camera at the back of the car which displays through this screen up here. Now, if you've got the back of the car loaded to the sky, you've got you can still see out the rear view mirror because of the camera. Like, brilliant. Why doesn't every car do that, to be honest? So, you get a few other little things, like you get roof rails with the TiL. TiL doesn't get that. There's puddle light. Well, all the Patrols have puddle lights under the door, but the TiLs have them under the mirror as well, just a little subtle thing. Now, I'm going to talk about some of the things you lose with a TiL. So, all of this electronics, the extra speakers and extra things for the seats and the heated seats, cooled seats, all that sort of stuff, that adds weight to the car. So, there's less load carrying capacity in a TiL. It's not heaps, but it is significant enough to the point where if you get a TI, they're an 8-seater, but if you get a TiL, they're only a 7-seater. So physically, nothing's different. There's the same amount of places to put your bum, but the seat belts, they've removed the center seat belt at the very back of the car. Now that's an interesting one because, you know, I want to put a fridge on one side, but I still want to have 7 seats. Could I go and get a TI seat belt and put in? Probably not legally, but technically you could. Talk about resale. Actually, they're both fantastic for resale. You know, on the battle pages out there, all the Land Cruiser guys try to beat us up for resale, but it's brilliant. I was amazed at what I sold my Series 1 for, and I'm hearing stories all the time that they're holding their value really well. So I wouldn't worry about either of them. What's interesting though is the people shopping around the second-hand market for a Series 4 for about that money can get a Series 3 TiL for that money if you can find one. Because there's not a heap of TiLs around, they demand a good price. But there's not a massive difference between a Series 3 and a Series 4. So, you know, just might have a few more Ks on it, but you get a TiL. So I was saying it's about 12-ish grand between the difference TiL. What does that equate to, like, per month or something? It's probably $350 a month. So you're gonna think to yourself, is there, like, there's luxury car tax now in a TiL? Is it all these little things like the air seats? Is that worth $350? Like, personally for me, yeah, totally. But at the same time, if it's your own money you're spending and not financing it, you know, that 12 grand, that could be probably front bar, sliders, bash plates, winch. There's a lot of fruit that you could put on your car for that 12 grand to make it, you know, that bit more full drive. I couldn't do a review, well, not that it's a review, I couldn't do a video on a Y62 without stating a couple of things. They still have these incandescent lights. Honestly, what child's birthday cake did they steal these candles from? Everything else is LED, they've woken up to that. The front end's all LED, so that's great. They've done LED reverse lights, they're still useless. Unfortunately, there's not an upgrade for the Series 5 for reverse lights that I've found yet. But they've still got incandescent globes, or halogen, or whatever they are, inside the car. Come on, Nissan. Again, Apple CarPlay. You can go buy a 12 grand Suzuki and get Apple CarPlay. Now, for a while there I was saying I would never buy a Series 5 because it didn't have Apple CarPlay. Now I've come to the conclusion that you can upgrade it for there's a couple of ways to do it actually. The one I want to do is the full Tesla screen, a couple of grand. If they ever do come out with a Series 6, I bet it's not going to be 2 grand more, it'll be like 10 grand more. So I will happily put this dash in the bin, go buy the proper Tesla screen and have Apple CarPlay and big maps, and it's what they should have done to the start. UAE has it, I don't know why Australia doesn't, but I'm not going to wait for the Series 6 to come out. If anyone tells you to wait for the Series 6, there might not be a Series 6, and if they say that they know it's going to be soon, they don't. No one does. Like, Nissan dealers don't know. Doesn't matter how much I bribe anyone at Nissan, they can't tell me if there's going to be a Series 6 or when there's going to be a Series 6. So if someone's told you that they know, they're lying. Now this dash, the wood grain. We're gonna have to wrap the wood grain as well. That's fine though. But Nissan, the dash is looking dated. It's 10 years old and you can see it. So you guys, you need to do something about that. But it's such a good car for the money. I overlooked that and I'm going to wrap it anyway. So whichever Y62 you pick, it's going to be an absolute cracker. They're priced really well at the moment, and I can't think of another car that you can put 7 or 8 people in, load it full of gear, point at any sand dune that you can find and it's going to get over it, tow through it 3.5 ton, get a King's double swag and put it across the back seat, and they're not that bad on fuel. Like, it's the whole thing about V8s and fuel, I think that myth has been busted. So whatever car you go for, it's going to be good. I want to thank Southern Vale Nissan for letting me come down and film this car today. I'm sure these guys will look after you. You know what I'm going to say next. Basically, if you're in the market, go test drive one and tell me what colour you buy. Yeah.